High school football coming up. It's scheduled to kick off next Friday for most of the schools. There are some challenges and things that have gone into it. Derryk Sellers is the president of the West Jersey Football League. I think they put together about 15 different schedules. They think they have it finally put together. What are the challenges of playing high school football during COVID-19 for all these schools? Crowd control, the game procedures, what will happen with the playoffs and everything. Let's find out more now with Derryk Sellers. He's the president of the West Jersey Football League, where most of the schools in the listening area reside and play. And Derryk, we appreciate you jumping on board. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting topic. Everybody was wondering what's going on with high school football. You know, obviously we would have been well into the season by now, but now the kickoffs will start next Friday night. Where do we stand with that? What are some of the challenges still to getting this off the ground?
Okay, actually, there are going to be some scrimmages today and tomorrow. They're going to start the scrimmages, and so next week will be games. And the challenge is, like right now, we just had Washington Township they had to shut down for 2 weeks, so we got to shut them down. So, you know, we're just trying to scramble around and make sure that we can have games for everybody. So it's just been one thing after another. So I'm pretty sure as soon as I get off with you, something's happening.
Yeah, so you mentioned, all right, Washington Township, they have to shut down. Is there a exact procedure in place should a team call you and say, Derryk, you know, it's Wednesday, we're supposed to play Friday night, and we have a couple of guys, we can't do it?
Yeah, if we can get them another game, we'll definitely try to. And if we can't, then they just have to, you know, they have to just make it up later in the season, or we have to try to be creative with what we're doing.
Crowd control. Let's get what's going on there, because the people listening are probably wondering, hey, can I go to the game this year? There has been, I saw something that 500 spectators. Is that across the board? Is it by district? Is it by school? What is the crowd control issue?
Okay, the governor has stated 500 people, so every school can only have 500. What most schools are doing is they're giving 2 tickets per kid on the team. So you give your 2 tickets to whoever you want to, and only 2 people can get in the game per student. So it's not going to be a lot of big crowds, and just trying to regulate that is just going to be. Some schools, it depends on the individual school, so everybody should call the schools and find out what's going on.
Right. Some of the schools have already announced. Right. Some of the schools have already announced they're not even dealing with it. They're just going to go with no fans. Correct.
Right. There you go. So we have some schools have no fans. Some schools, like my school, I'm giving 2 tickets to every kid on the team. I'm giving 2 tickets, 200 tickets to the visitors. That's it. We're not collecting any money. You walk up, it's a bucket. You put your ticket in the bucket. That's all.
Got it. Yeah, I've seen some, Derryk, I guess, where the home team is maybe taking 60% of the tickets and they're giving 40% to the other side.
Yeah, we doing like we do for the home basketball playoffs. 60% for the home team, 40% for the others. But it's 300 tickets for me, 200 for them. So it's just a matter of us getting the stuff in and doing what we need to do. That's all. So it's just. Like I told you, it's always changing. So I'll tell you what, call me back in 10 minutes. I promise you.
Game procedures. What is some of the procedures that might be different now with this year as opposed to years past?
Okay, so now with each kid has to have their own water bottle when they're on the sideline. So the kids are going to have to, it's going to look weird. The kids are going to time out. They're going to actually have to leave the field to go get their bottle. And the refs are going to allow that. There's only going to be one captain for the coin toss for each team. At the end of the game, there won't be any shaking hands. They kind of just go to their hash mark and wave, and then everybody go their separate ways. No locker rooms, so both teams will probably be staying outside at some point for most of the game. They'll just all be outside. So, and the sideline is going to be from the 10 to the 10. It's usually from 25 to 25.
Right.
But this year it's going to be 10 to 10 just for the social distancing. But it's going to be funny with some of the smaller teams, like when they spread out like that, it won't look like it's a lot of guys,
Yeah. And I know some of the coaches might like being all the way down to the 10, right?
Well, they just put out, the NJSIA just put out there's only going to be one coach is only going to be allowed to go to the 10 to be the get back coach to keep the kids back off of that line. So not the head coach, but like an assistant can go down there and keep the kids back. But you know how it is, like at a football game, like all of the kids group to wherever the ball is. So.
Now, you said call you back in 10 minutes and things might change. A lot of people are talking about the end of the year, the playoffs, and how it was supposed to be, and then how it morphed into. I've seen other states are now kind of Delaware, Pennsylvania, who had some challenges. They are now playing playoffs. Well, New Jersey looked like they were playing playoffs, and then they kind of backed off of it. So is that also fluid?
They just make Delaware and Pennsylvania are making us look so bad right now. But the premise behind not having the playoffs was we didn't know if you playing 6 games to determine the playoffs. What if, like Washington Township, what if they miss the first game and then they go 5-0? Like, do you put them in, or do you,
right.
if you only play 3 games or 4 games, do you still get in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it was kind of a situation where we didn't know if we would be able to play all of the games. So I think that's what happened when it came down to the playoffs.
Is that something that could be revisited, like halfway through the year?
We definitely are going to revisit it just by the amount of pressure and feedback that we've gotten.
Yeah.
So we definitely are going to try to revisit it.
Well, where does it stand now? Because there is some sort of postseason. It's not, hey, the Group 4 playoffs like traditionally, but isn't there some sort of, like, after Thanksgiving, a something going on?
Right. So it'll be before Thanksgiving. I think it's the 7th and the 14th, or the 14th and the 21st. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But what it is we're going to take 4 teams. So let's say we pick 4 teams. We pick any 4 teams and we put them in a pod. And every team, that's why we got to wait and see who's going to sign up to play the 2 games.
Right.
Because if you sign up for the 2 games, you get the 2 games. I'll use Mainland because, if Mainland says they want to play the 2 games, then if they go in the first week and play the pod and they lose, they have to play the second week. So you could put 4 teams together. Mm-hmm. The 2 winners would play, and then the 2 losers would play.
Gotcha.
But we have to find out how many teams are going to apply to want to play the 2 games.
Right, and then you're going to try to set them up geographically.
Yeah, like geographically, and like we're going to try to mix up some of the groups, and maybe some teams that probably don't really play a lot. We're going to try to have some really good games. Because if you look at it, last year, if we did the rankings, Penns Grove was actually the number 1 team in all of South Jersey. But, a Group 1 team can't take the pounding of playing all those big schools all the time. So, in a 2-game playoff, it might work. Yeah. You never know. But we just don't want to have a Group 1 playing a Group 5. That's the only thing we don't want to do.
All right. Derryk Sellers is the president of the West Jersey Football League. How many different times have you had to put this schedule together?
When we started with like schedule 0.1 and then, 1.0 and then 2.0. And I think we're probably on like 30 or 40. Because actually, to be honest with you, right before I got on the phone with you, we have to make another change. So we had an issue with 2 schools and we had to make another change. So I'm getting ready to, as soon as I get off the phone, I got a call. We're going to make a change, and I'll get the information out to everybody. If they go on to Twitter, they'll get me on there too. So.
Yeah. Is there any protocol for testing, or is this one of the reasons why it's so up in the air? Because every school maybe doesn't test, or is there a requirement to test?
No. Well, see, like I said, the issue we're going to have is we're not like the NFL,
right? Where
they have the daily testing, and even like the Big Ten. They got the monitors and all that. We have to rely on our teams and people to make sure that the kids are tested and screened. Every school, every kid gets screened every day. So you get screened and you get a questionnaire that you have to fill out every day. So we've been doing that.
Okay.
So, we've been doing our part. Like every athletic trainer, all of the ADs, everybody, we all been doing it. Like we screening every day to check on the kids. But as far as testing, we probably should be doing a little bit more, but I just think financially we just wouldn't have enough funds or resources to be able to do the testing every day.
I might be able to help you with that. All right, I'll see what I can do. Derryk Sellers.
I know you know some people. So.
I actually had this conversation.
Listen, Mike.
Yeah.
We're on Twitter, man. West Jersey Football League is on Twitter. Please go on follow us on Twitter. That's what I'm supposed to say.
Yep. Okay. And I was going to say, Derryk Sellers, he's the president of the West Jersey League. I was going to say, is there a way that people can follow the information and
follow
all that
Twitter
stuff? Okay.
Thank you, Mike. You're the best, man.
Derryk, appreciate it, man. All right. He is Derryk Sellers, the president of the West Jersey Football League. There you go. Very trying to get this football off the ground. I know so many people wanted to do it, but look, he's probably got the phone ringing constantly. We can't play. We got problems here. We got things going on there.